Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. How are
Morning,
you?
Judge.
Good morning. We'll get started shortly.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. We're ready at the South Annex when you are.
All right. So we'll get ready to start in 1 minute.
Okay. Good morning.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Today is January the 11th of 2022. This is the state all-purpose calendar. I am Judge Melanie Williams. I want to advise all participants that this proceeding is being broadcast over the internet, which means any member of the public can log on and watch this proceeding just as if we were live. I also want to advise you that it's being recorded. To all defendants on the screen, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. Today at this calendar, we will handle matters such as bond hearings, we will accept pleas, and we will also arraign cases. Please look at the chat for where you should send all paperwork. Please direct anything that needs to be signed to Ms. Katalia Middlebrooks, and she has entered her information into the chat. All right, who do we have first at the jail? Are we going to South Annex first or courtroom 2?
South Annex is fine.
Okay, well, who do we have at the South Annex?
Station 8, Ms. Floyd Jones.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Floyd Jones. Who represents Ms. Floyd Jones?
I do, Judge.
Okay, good to see you, Ms. Helen.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Ms. Floyd Jones, you heard me advise you of your constitutional right to remain silent. I also want to advise you that you have a right to an attorney in this proceeding today, and Ms. Helen is available by video, as you can see. Do you object to a video hearing or to your attorney assisting you remotely?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I have it. We're going to arraign this case this morning, Ms. Helen. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. And we're also going to have a bond hearing, correct?
That's correct, Judge.
All right. And whose case is this for the state? Anyone from the state present and assigned to this case? All right. In the meantime, while we're waiting for the, oh, I can't hear you, Ms. Mitchell. I believe you are muted.
Hi, sorry about that.
Good
Your Honor, I
morning.
believe the ASG, good morning. I believe the ASG on this case, Ms. Webb, she's having Wi-Fi issues, but she's logging on shortly.
Okay, well, we will arraign the case and hopefully by the time we get to the bond hearing, Ms. Webb will be with us. All right. Okay, Ms. Floyd Jones, your case is 20 CR 0032038, in which you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery, which has been formally accused by the Solicitor General of Fulton County. Ms. Helen, do you waive a formal reading of the accusation?
I do, Judge.
I appreciate that waiver. At this time, your case will be reset for trial, and at trial, your case will be scheduled by the state court judge for whom your case will actually be assigned. At that trial, you will have a right to an attorney just as you have today. You will not have the burden to prove the charges against you, but the state represented by the Solicitor General will bear that burden. If they do get a conviction against you, you can face a sentence of up to 1 year in prison or a fine of $1,000. Based upon this information that I've given you right now, how do you plead to the charge of simple battery?
Not guilty.
I accept your not guilty plea and your case will be reset for jail jury at this time. Has ASG Webb made it onto the screen such that we can conduct the bond hearing?
And Judge, if not, I'm positions 1 through 12 and position 1 on the DV, but Mr. Finling is 13 through 24.
Oh, I see ASG Webb. Hold on, she's here. ASG Webb, are you able to hear me? We'd like to go to position 8, and I've been informed that that's your case.
Yes, Your Honor. I apologize. My Wi-Fi was out for a second.
Okay, well, we're glad that you're here now. We're gonna proceed with the bond hearing for position 8. What is the state's recommendation for Ms. Floyd Jones Bond?
Yes, Your Honor. We are recommending in Mrs. Jones' case. Give me 1 second, Your Honor.
Does she currently have a bond?
Yes, Your
yes,
Honor. Her
Judge.
bond is currently set at a $2,000 surety bond for simple battery, Your Honor, for an incident that took place where she allegedly punched a minor child in the stomach after having a dispute with that minor child, Your Honor. That incident location occurred at 320 Fairburn Road, Southwest, apartment B6. In that incident, Your Honor, officers responded to a dispute call where the mother reported that her and the defendant were sitting outside of their apartment complex, hanging out with friends, and at some point a verbal dispute and altercation did break out, Your Honor. And that mother of that child said her child was playing, I believe, with some neighborhood kids that were also one of the defendant's children. And her child returned home crying and saying that the defendant did punch her in the stomach. The police report does not provide any greater context as to why she punched her in the stomach, Your Honor, but we do know for a fact that she did have a verbal dispute, and it is reasonable to believe that she did punch her in the stomach, probably to take out some of that aggression that she had towards the child's mother. Your Honor, the defendant does have a history of batteries and simple assaults, Your Honor, including 2 open cases for cruelty to children out of Fulton County and a battery family violence out of Fulton County, as well as convictions for battery family violence in 2018 and simple battery and substantial harm out of Fulton from 2010 and a disorderly conduct out of DeKalb for 2018, Your Honor. She also has another open case for simple battery out of Fulton, Your Honor, and we are concerned that she has a high risk of reoffending, and that if we do not amicably resolve this, that she may return back to that location and cause either harm to that child or her mother if the 2 of those adults are not able to resolve their issues amicably, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge. Miss Floyd Jones is 36 years old. As you can see, the alleged incident date is April 5th of 2020. Miss Jones was rearrested for failing to appear from September 27th of 2021. I did hear the history about the open cases, but she is here because of that FTA from September, Judge. And so that's why we're entering a plea of not guilty. She was also employed until being incarcerated at Jersey Mike's for the last several months. She does have 3 children that she is one of the primary caregivers of, one who's 22, a girl who's 6, also a grandchild that she helps with as well, a young girl who's 3 months old, Judge. She is from Pennsylvania, but she has been in Georgia for the last 20 years, Judge. Her mom, Jennifer, lives in Decatur and has lived in Decatur for the last several years, Judge. Miss Floyd is a part of the Good Samaritan program, as well as looking into the Donna House program, because she does need help as far as remaining consistent on her medication. But through those programs, she is and plans to remain consistent, Judge. That's why I'm asking for a signature bond first. And Judge, if you feel that she is ineligible for that signature bond, I'm actually, because I have that her bond is $4,000. Just wanted to verify the bond amount. But I'm asking for a bond modification of no more than 1,000 surety for Miss Jones.
Yes. Let me confirm the amount of the bond. Are you able to see it? See if I can confirm the amount as well.
Yeah, I see that. Okay.
Does anyone confirm the bond amount? My Odyssey is loading very slowly.
Your Honor, in my records, I had a $2,000 surety bond with a stay away and no further contact. And that's what I'm showing on the jailing screen as well.
All right.
Okay.
Showing a $4,000. Okay, Ms. Middlebrook sees a 4. All right,
Yeah.
at this time, for clarification, based on the information before me, Ms. Floyd Jones is gonna receive a $2,000 surety bond. The stay away will apply. All right, is there anything further as it pertains to this case from either party?
No, Your Honor, the state rests.
All right, thank you.
I just want to verify, Judge, so that I will be sending you guys a modification because what you have is a 4,000 and it's just been modified to, okay.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Best of luck to you, Ms. Floyd Jones. We can move to the next case. What do we have next?
Position number 3,
Mr. Alexander.
Bullock, position number 3.
Okay. Okay, the announcement I have for position 3 is that this is a non-negotiated plea. Is that
Yes,
still
Judge.
correct? That's
Yes,
correct, Ms.
Judge.
Helen? Okay, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Bullock. Your case is 22 CR 0000059J, in which you're charged with carrying a weapon without a valid license for offense with an offense date of November the 28th of 2021. You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of the case can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney today, and Ms. Helen is present to assist you with this hearing. As you can see, I'm conducting it by video. Do you have any objection to a video hearing or to Ms. Helen assisting you from a remote location?
Yes. ma'am.
You do
Oh, no,
object or you don't
Oh,
object?
no, ma'am. No, I don't.
Okay, Mr. Bullock, what I'm gonna do today is, this is a non-negotiated plea. Basically, I'm gonna hear the state's recommendation as to your plea, then I'm gonna hear from your attorney. And at that point, we will ask you some questions, see if you understand and want to move forward with taking that plea today, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Whose case is this for the state?
This is
Ms.
my
Webb,
case.
well?
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
Ms. Webb, what is the state's recommendation as far as this plea?
Your Honor, we are recommending 12 months to serve. The reason why we are making this recommendation, Your Honor, is because a gun was involved as the Union City Police Department did respond to a dispute call at the Walmart located in Union City, Georgia, Your Honor. The loss prevention officer reported that the defendant was arguing with other customers in the store when the loss prevention officer, as well as other employees and customers, witnessed him reach into a backpack to retrieve a gun. The responding officers were able to locate a Pro Mag model RS22 with a serial number 7CA0360851. And that firearm was ran by the responding officers, Your Honor, and it was reported stolen. At the time of the arrest, the defendant did have a warrant out of Jonesboro, and it did come back as a ping for that he was a convicted felon, Your Honor. Our office did do some investigation into that because there was some discrepancies as to the disposition on those cases. And it is believed on our end that he did have a robbery charge out of Brookhaven in 2019 that was amended to a disorderly conduct. Our office is still doing some investigations to ensure that the accuracy of that disposition is a actual conviction for a felony and that it's not a misdemeanor, but it did ping back that he was a convicted felon, Your Honor. And those are the reasons that we are making that recommendation, in addition to those other open cases that he has for possession of a weapon to commit felonies in an ag assault out of Atlanta from 2019, Your Honor.
Is that the full history, Ms. Webb, of that conviction from 2019?
There's additional history, Your Honor. He also has convictions for a criminal trespass in a simple battery out of Cobb for 2015. He has a battery for family violence and simple assault, obstruction and fleeing and eluding in 2020 out of Rockdale. He also has some arrests that were dismissed for carrying a weapon without a license in 2018. Those were 2 dismissals, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge, this is a non-negotiated plea. I believe that you've read the warrants. I have that the gun came back not stolen. So I just wanted to clarify that on the record, Judge, that that's what I have for the narrative incident report on my end. I would also ask pretrial to read his history. I just want a clarification of some things if pretrial.
Okay. I'll go to Ms. Nash after I hear your
Okay,
recommendation.
but I did hear the open cases, Judge. So I hear that they're open, but again, I spoke to Mr. Bullock. Those are, again, pending charges. He is also contesting those charges as well, Judge. So we are asking for a recommendation of no more than 90 days. We feel that the year recommendation, the maximum amount for the gun possession, no gun was pointed at anyone. I didn't hear allegations of an actual weapon being pulled out and pulled on anyone, Judge. So that's why we're asking for the 90-day recommendation. Judge, as well, he does have National Guard, Army history. He was honorably discharged. And he is currently not able to make any bond, Judge, because he is currently on disability and a fixed income.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Nash, can you confirm the history for us, please? Good morning.
Yes, good morning,
to
Your
you.
Honor. The defendant does have 12 cycles. I'm showing the last arrest was June the 8th, 2020 for obstruction of an officer, and that was in Butts County. Had several open cases pending, one for aggravated assault. That case number is 19SC167057. It was 2 counts of aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during commission of a felony and reckless conduct. In addition to that, the defendant appears to have an outstanding hold out of Clayton County for a probation violation. That underlying charge was not listed. The date on that warrant was August the 23rd, 2021. The defendant does have prior convictions, misdemeanors, one in 2020 for obstruction of an officer, an additional one in 2020 for fleeing and attempting to elude an officer, and obstruction of an officer, and battery, family violence, one in 2019 for disorderly conduct, one in 2017 for disorderly conduct, one in 2015 for criminal trespassing. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Nash. All right, in light of the information before me, if Mr. Bullock takes this plea today, I'm going to accept the state's recommendation, and it would be 12 months to serve. Ms. Helen, does he still want to take this plea today?
No, Judge, we've discussed that. We will then be asking for a bond hearing, and we will be entering a plea of not guilty.
All right, has his case already been arraigned?
No, Judge.
All right. All right, at this time, Mr. Bullock, I'm going to arrange your case, and your case will be reset for the notice of division judge. All right, Mr. Malachi Bullock, you've been formally charged with 1 count of carrying a weapon without a valid license, which has been formally accused by the Solicitor General of Fulton County. Ms. Helen, do you waive a formal reading of the accusation?
Yes, Judge.
I appreciate that waiver. At this time, your case will be set for trial, and the trial will be scheduled by the state court judge to whom your case will be assigned. At this trial, you will have a right to an attorney, just as we've had today, and you will not have the burden to prove the charges against you. The state will bear that burden and will have to prove those charges beyond a reasonable doubt in order to get a conviction. If they do get a conviction, you could face a fine of up to $1,000 or a sentence of up to 1 year in prison. Based upon this information, how do you plead to the charges I just listed?
Not guilty.
I accept your not guilty plea at this time. Ms. Webb, what is the state's position as to the bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Bond is currently set at $2,500 surety with a stay away from the Walmart in Union City and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, Your Honor, while out on bond.
Okay, and you're not arguing for any modification to that bond at this time, is that correct?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Bullock is 25 years old. He also currently is on, like I said, a fixed income. So he's not able to afford the surety bond as it's set at $2,500, Judge. He's a lifetime resident of Georgia, Judge, so he will be coming to his court dates. I did hear about the open cases, but again, Judge, these are open cases. And I am asking for Mr. Bullock for a signature bond. And if Your Honor finds that he isn't eligible for a signature bond, I'm asking for a bond modification of no more than $1,500. Like I said, he is on a fixed income. He has no other income other than the disability. And he's the only person helping bond himself out, Judge. So I would be asking for that modification. if not the signature bond.
Your Honor, the state is wholly opposed to a signature bond, considering that this is a drug case. Excuse me, a gun case, and we are concerned with the community safety, Your Honor. And we do take gun cases. We do not take those cases lightly, Your Honor, because we do not know what the outcome of those cases can be. So we are wholly opposed to a signature bond in this matter, and considering in light of those open cases that are also related to violence, Your Honor.
May I speak, Your Honor?
I advise you strongly against that, Mr. Bullock. Anything you say can be used by the state, and Ms. Helen is here to speak for you. So I advise you, if you have any questions, to direct them to her after this hearing, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, at this time, I'm gonna modify Mr. Bullock's bond. It's gonna be a $2,000 surety bond with the same condition that he is to stay away from that Walmart in Union City. Are there any further questions from either the state or defense at this time?
No, Your
No,
Honor, but I
Judge.
did want to clarify for the record that I was speaking too fast and that it was not a stolen weapon, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Bond and all will remain as it. All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Bullock. If you have a question, I advise you to speak with Ms. Helen. Ms. Helen, please reach out to him following this hearing.
Okay, what is a surety bond?
It's a good bond. It means you'll have to go through a bonding company.
Oh, dang, so it's not a signature bond?
No, sir.
Dang, yeah, I won't be able to make bonds.
Well, give me a call and we can talk about it, okay?
Okay, can we push for a fast and speedy trial?
Miss,
Please speak with your attorney off the record. Who do we have next at the jail?
Position number 6, Mr. Davis, position number 6.
We got position number
Thank
1.
you. Okay, so the announcement I have for position 6 is that this is just the bond hearing. Has this case already been arraigned?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Howard. Good to see you. Has this case already
Yes,
been arraigned?
Judge, I've sent a waiver of arraignment over to Ms. Middlebrook, so
Okay.
this morning.
Yes, did you get it? I thought you saw a waiver of prison. We're gonna confirm that we have it, Mr. Howard. Okay, so we're gonna move forward with the bond hearing. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Davis. Your case is 21 CR 79978, in which you're charged with possession of marijuana less than an ounce, possession of a revolver or a pistol, and possession of and use of drug-related objects, each with offense dates of December the 28th of 2021. You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of the case can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and Mr. Howard is present on the screen and is available to assist you today. Do you object to either a video hearing or to Mr. Howard assisting you by video? Need you tell me whether or not you object?
no.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Is this your case, Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor, it is my case.
Okay, what is the state's position regarding Mr. Davis' bond?
Yes, Your Honor, currently the defendant's bond is set at, let me make sure, I'm just wanting to double check. Yes, Your Honor, currently the defendant's bond for the possession of marijuana is set at $500 surety. For the possession of the pistol or revolver is $3,000 surety. And the possession and use of drug-related objects is a $500 surety bond. Your Honor, the state is asking for the court to keep the bond conditions as is, Your Honor, as this case involves a gun as well, Your Honor. In this case, the defendant's mother reached out to call 911, saying that her son was sitting in the vehicle with a gun and with a marijuana. His mother's name is Miss Amika Davis. That is AMICA Davis, common spelling. She said that the defendant had just returned from Dallas, Texas, and was sitting in her car with a gun and marijuana. She did not say that he pointed the gun or anything at her, but she did express to him that she did not want that type of activity outside of her business, as the incident location is 2996 Grandview Avenue, and that is the mother's hair salon, Your Honor. The officers did locate approximately 25 grams of marijuana, a scale, and a Smith & Wesson SDV 40, Your Honor. For those reasons, we are opposed to having any bond modifications. In addition to those surety bonds, Your Honor, we are asking for a stay away from the incident location and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Davis is 17 years old, Judge. He is a senior at Peachtree Ridge High School. At the time of his arrest, he was actually working as well as attending school. He was working for Zaxby's. He has since, of course, lost that job because he has been in custody for the past 15 days. Judge, I spoke with him at length on last night and spoke with his mother, who is on the call today, Ms. Amy Davis, about this incident, Judge. And I can tell you from her perspective, this originated from a spirit of wanting to make sure that her son would make good decisions. And that was her belief when she acted. And Judge, in talking with her, she certainly wants her son to return home. He has already missed school since the 6th of this month. We don't want him to get any further behind. We believe that he has a very bright future. He is about to be finished with school in May. He actually wants to get his CDL once he is finished. He talked to me about his plans and that he is not a young man who is looking to be in trouble. And sometimes young people, obviously, Judge, have to make decisions that are not the best decisions. However, I will note, as the state noted, that this was not an incident where there's an allegation of any type of behavior or use of a gun or anything of that nature. We don't believe he's a threat to the community, Judge. There's nothing to suggest that. They have been here for the past year. They moved here, and Ms. Davis works here, and he has been here, his mother, and he has family back in Dallas, Texas as well that he's visited. And so, Judge, we would ask the court to convert this to a signature bond. Ms. Davis has not been able to post the bond as it is set. We certainly don't want this to turn into a situation where it affects his schooling any more than it has. So we would ask the court to consider a signature bond through pretrial in this matter so that we can address this matter at a later time, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Nash, will you give me his history, please?
And is this position 4, Your Honor?
Position 6, Mr. Davis.
Just a moment, please, Your Honor. The defendant has one prior cycle. That was October the 29th, 2021 for assault, and that was in Duncanville, Texas. There was no disposition for that arrest, Your Honor. Nothing in addition.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Nash. All right. What was the incident location, Ms. Webb or Ms. Howard? It was a hair salon?
Yes, Your Honor. It's 2996 Grandview. That's GRANDVIEW Avenue.
Judge, as it relates to that, I think the state had asked for a stay away from that location. Judge, we don't believe that's necessary. That essentially they're saying to stay away from his mother because, I mean, that's where she works. So this was not a situation where he was any danger to her or anyone else. Certainly, she will take a responsibility for him if the court is inclined to release him to her. And obviously, he may need to be at her job or wherever she decides that he needs to be with her. So we would ask that there not be any type of a stay away from that location or from her, obviously.
Your Honor, I believe he can still be in the presence and comfort and guidance and guardianship of his mother while also still staying away from the place of business where there's likely other people who are employed as well, Your Honor.
All right, I understand. All right, at this time, I'm going to modify his bond as follows. All right, on the possession of the marijuana, less than an ounce is going to be a $250 surety bond. On the possession of the pistol or revolver, that's going to be a $1,000 surety bond. And then the possession of the and use of the drug-related objects, that's going to be a $250 surety bond for a total of a $1,500 surety bond. The stay away condition will remain. He is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition of his bond, and his mother must co-sign his bond as well as a condition of his release.
And Judge, is that doable with, when it's a, I mean, it's not gonna be, since the court didn't give a signature bond, I don't believe the mother could
Yeah,
co-sign.
I guess she can't. I just wanted her to buy in if I had done it. If you're correct, Mr. Howard, we'll strike that last provision. All right, so that's a $1,500 surety bond at this time.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. All right, I believe that concludes Mr. Davis's case. Is there anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Davis. Who do we have next?
Position number 10, Mr. Gamage. Position number 10.
Okay, the announcement I have for this position is this is gonna be a bond hearing as well.
Correct,
And this
Judge.
case needs to be arraigned.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Your case is 21 CR 007966B, in which you're charged with criminal trespass and certain prohibited acts by a bus or a rail station with an offense date of December the 27th of 2021. You've heard me advise you of your constitutional right to remain silent. Do you have any objection to a video hearing today or to your attorney assisting you remotely?
My attorney assisted me today, yes.
Do you object to her assisting you by video?
No, I don't object.
Okay, thank you. All right, before I begin, let me arrange your case. In your name, pronounce your last name for me.
Mr. Gamage.
Okay, Mr. Tony Gamage, you've been charged in case 21 CR 007966B with 1 count of criminal trespass and 1 count of certain prohibited acts at a bus or rail station with an offense date of December the 27th of 2021. Ms. Helen, do you waive a formal reading of the accusation?
Yes, Judge.
I appreciate that waiver. At this time, your case will be set for trial. The trial will be scheduled by the state court judge to whom your case will actually be assigned. At trial, you'll have the right to an attorney. You will not have the burden to prove the charges against you. The state, represented by the Solicitor General, will bear that burden and will have to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt in order to get a conviction. If they do get a conviction, you can face a sentence of up to 1 year in prison or a fine of $1,000 for each charge. And those charges may run consecutively or concurrently. Based upon this information that I have presented to you, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
I accept your not guilty plea. At this time, your case will be reset for trial. Ms. Webb, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Okay, Ms. Webb, what is your recommendation?
Your Honor, the
Sure.
state is recommended 750 surety for the acts prohibited, a $500 surety on the criminal trespass. We're also requesting a stay away from all model properties, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is based on an incident that took place on December 27th, where the defendant lit TNT fireworks at the underground MARTA station and ignited fireworks on top of a trash can lid inside of the Peachtree station, Your Honor, excuse me. He did have a current suspension from all MARTA properties that was issued on Halloween of last year, Your Honor, and became effective on December 2nd of last year, Your Honor. He also has additional to that several criminal trespass convictions, including a criminal trespass conviction from Atlanta in 2017, Chambly in 2017. Your Honor, he also has excuse me, a criminal trespass and willful obstruction out of Clayton County from 2017, Your Honor. He also has additional FTAs out of DeKalb from 2017. And we are concerned that he is a possible flight risk and has a high risk of reoffending again because he did already have those active suspensions from those previous criminal trespass incidents that occurred of last year, Your Honor. And despite those suspensions from MARTA, he still returned to the property to cause this mayhem, Your Honor. And it's for those reasons the state is making this recommendation. And
Right, thank you. Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Gamage is 31 years old. He has been in Georgia for the last 2 years. His mother has also been in Georgia for the last 2 to 3 years in Gwinnett. I do believe she's on the line, Judge. I would just ask if she get a moment or two at whenever you want for her to speak for Mr. Gamage as well. But he's also a high school graduate out of Catherine Senior High School, as well as Georgia State University, Judge. He was currently being recruited to Swift Transportation because he does have his CDL license. However, that recruitment is still pending due to him being incarcerated, Judge. He's got a lot of positive things going for him. I understand that the state has mentioned that this was mayhem. Allegedly, there were fireworks that were lit at the MARTA station. Judge, when I spoke to Mr. Gamage, he wasn't aware that there was any suspension from MARTA at all, Judge. Okay. I also didn't hear any allegations that anyone was hurt or harmed. Judge, he is a great resident of the community, so he's not a danger to the community. He's not going to intimidate any witnesses from the MARTA staff. He is going to show up to all of his court dates, which I do hope his mother can speak to helping to as well, Judge. So based off of the Ayala factors, Judge, I am asking for a signature bond for Mr. Gamage. And if not a signature bond, Judge, I am asking for a modification of a good bond, no more than 1,000, Judge, to be able to help him get out, get back working, and become into the community a good resident.
Your Honor, if I may,
One moment before you do that, Ms. Webb. Ms. Nash, can I have his history, please?
Your Honor, the defendant appeared to be a multi-state offender. He have arrests out of Alabama and out of, see, where is this now? Illinois, and it keeps going. Let me give you the last arrest that he has. It was November the 2nd, 2017, and that was in Alabama for disorderly conduct. Let me just kind of look through some of these different states here right quickly, Your Honor.
Ms. Nash, what I'm most interested in are anything violent, anything weapon related,
Okay,
and of course, FTA.
okay. I'm seeing arrests, so far, nothing violent like disorderly conduct. He have a history out of Tennessee as well. And there appear to be one out of Oklahoma. Let me look at that one right quick for you.
Do you see any open cases as well?
Okay, so the most recent arrest is out of Oklahoma for destroying property. It was a misdemeanor. There was no conviction for it. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Nash. Okay, Ms. Webb, you wanted to make a response?
yes, Your Honor, just to rebut on the defense's point that he was not aware of those suspensions were issued by MARTA, and according to the report, he did receive notice of that suspension, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
That is all.
Judge, I was just saying that I spoke to Mr. Tony. He told me directly he had no notice. So something may have been mailed. It may have been mailed to the 1998 Beaver Springs Lane, which is actually an old invalid address. I do have an updated 100 Castor Drive, apartment H4, North Cross, Georgia, 30071 as an updating mailing address. But that statement was directly for Mr. Gamage, stating he had no notice of it.
All right, thank you. All right, at this time, Mr. Gamage is going to receive a $1,250 surety bond, signature bond through pretrial services. He is to stay away from MARTA in its entirety. And I'm going to say he needs to maintain at least 500 feet away from the rail stations. Don't even get close to MARTA. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. He may take any prescription medications as required. Other than that, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. Are there any other questions or provisions regarding my ruling at this time?
I just wanted to clarify, it's the 1,250 signature
Yeah.
and a stay away from
And he must stay away from MARTA,
all locations.
all locations, as a condition of his bond. If he uses MARTA or gets close to MARTA, the jail will welcome him right back with open arms, so that it will be will consist of a violation of this bond at this time. All right, you understand that, Mr. Gamage?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right,
Thank you.
all right. Is there anything further? from
I do
either
believe
party?
Ms. Barr has a hand raised for Mr.
I mean,
Gamage.
I'm letting him out unless she wants to say something contrary. I'm not sure we have to hear from Ms. Barr at this time. Okay? Ms. Barr, I expect you to help him stay in line, all right? All right, we'll conclude this, Mr. Gamage's case. We can go to the next position. Best of luck to you. And Mr. Gamage, I do expect that you will comply with his orders. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I will, and make it.
All right, thank you. Take care. Have a good afternoon. All right, who do we have next?
Thank you, Judge.
Position number 1, Mr. Alexander.
Okay, and who represents Mr. Alexander? I have it as he has a private counsel.
Will Kelbaum, on behalf of Mr. Alexander.
Mr. Calval, good to see you. Is this, what's the announcement? Is this a bond hearing?
No, Your Honor, we'll just waive arraignment and plead not guilty. I have filed, just a moment ago, e-filed a waiver of arraignment and plea of not guilty.
Okay, and bond does not need to be addressed at this time?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I believe that will conclude Mr. Alexander's case then. Mr. Alexander, your attorney has waived arraignment in this case, which means that your case will be reset for trial. And if you have any questions, please reach out to him. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is that your only case today, Mr. Calval?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right, well, you can be excused. Have a great afternoon. Take care.
Thank you, Your Honor. You as well.
Okay, bye-bye. Who do we have next? At the jail?
Sorry, Your Honor, I didn't know that was gonna go so fast. We're gonna go to position number 22, Mr. Marcus Walker.
Okay, thank you. And the announcement I have for Mr. Walker is that I'm arraigning his case and we're conducting a bond hearing. Is that correct, Mr. Finley?
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Walker. Your case is 21 CR 0080018, in which you charged with 2 counts of simple battery family violence with offense dates of October the 10th of 2021. You've heard me advise you of your constitutional rights to remain silent and to have an attorney present. Do you object to a video hearing or to your attorney assisting you by video today?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for that. At this time, I'm going to arraign your case. Mr. Walker, I've just read the case number. You've been formally charged with 2 counts of simple battery family violence, which has been formally accused by the Solicitor General of Fulton County. Mr. Finley, do you waive formal reading of the accusation at this time?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
I appreciate that waiver. At this time, your case will be set for trial, and the trial will be scheduled by the state court judge to whom your case is assigned. At this trial, you will have a right to an attorney, just as you've had today. You will not have the burden to prove the charges against you. The state represented by the Solicitor General will bear that burden, and they will have to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. If they do get a conviction, you can face a sentence of up to 1 year in prison or a fine of $1,000 for each charge, and that can run concurrently or consecutively. Based upon this information that I have presented, how do you plead to the charges of simple battery family violence?
Not guilty.
I accept your not guilty plea. Your case will be so reset as I explained earlier. And let's jump into the bond hearing. Ms. Mitchell,
Yes.
this is your case? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the state's recommendation for the bond? I'm saying that he currently has a $3,000 good bond.
Your Honor, it's a $3,000 surety bond, $1,500 per count. No further contact with victims Donna Green and C. Green. Stay away from address 158 Fairborn Road, Southwest Atlanta, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons.
Okay.
So, Your Honor, in this case, officers responded to location and met with both victims, mother and 14-year-old son, who were currently living in the same household as defendant. Ms. Green stated that the defendant was intoxicated and wanted the keys to her car. The defendant tried to take her phone, and when he grabbed her, Mr. Green, the son, stated that he saw the physical altercation between his mom and defendant, and he intervened so that defendant would let go of his mother. At that point, defendant grabbed Mr. Green by the neck and pushed him to the ground. Your Honor, the defendant in this case has 15 cycles. He has a violent criminal history. The state's concerned that defendant is a risk of reoffending. He has an ag assault, simple battery, and criminal trespass conviction in 2016, 2 ag assault, a battery family violence, simple assault, 2 simple assaults, and an aggravated battery charge in 2015 and a robbery conviction in 2013. We're also concerned that he's going to be a flight risk. He has multiple probation violations, 9 in particular, or 9 specifically, my apologies. So the state's going to request that the bond remain the same, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Finley?
Yes, Your Honor. And I do want to clarify whether there is a hold on Mr. Walker, because he did post bond on December 30th. So I just wanted to clarify.
Okay. Ms. Woodward, are you able to see that? He posted, okay, let me see if I can see. I do see when he posted a $3,000 bond to can bail bond. Okay, so we're seeing the bond. Do you see any other holds, Ms. Middlebrook? He has a parole. Okay, so the information that I'm receiving, Mr. Finley, is he has a parole violation. Is that what's holding him in? Yes. Okay. So he would need to just okay, well, I've arranged him. And apparently he has made bond as these charges, but there's a hold that's not before me that needs to be resolved. So I'm not really sure. Let me see if I can see. Do you have that case? You probably just need to look it up, Mr. Finley, to see what other case is holding him in, but it's not these two.
Okay.
Okay, well, he's been arraigned and he's pled not guilty, and I believe that's all we can address today. There won't be
Yes, Your Honor.
bond here, because yes, he has posted bond for these charges.
Okay.
So once you resolve that hold, he should be released. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I believe that will conclude this case. Best of luck to you, Mr. Walker. All right, who do we have next?
Your Honor, we got position number 21, Mr. Ussery. Position 21.
And I saw that his attorney, Ms. Challenger, did you have the opportunity to speak to him beforehand?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, I did.
Okay, so you're ready to go for it. What is your announcement for his case?
Judge, at this time, we are going to enter a not guilty plea, and we do like to be heard.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna arraign your case, Ms. Ussery. Your case is 21 CR 007965H. As you can see, I've advised you previously of your constitutional rights to remain silent and to have an attorney at this proceeding. Do you object to a video hearing or to your attorney assisting you by video?
No.
Okay, I appreciate that. Ms. Challenger, do you waive a formal reading of the accusation at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
I appreciate that waiver. At this time, Ms. Ussery, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, which has been formally accused by the Solicitor General of Fulton County. Your case will now be set for trial, and the trial will be scheduled by the state court judge to whom this case is assigned. At this trial, you will have a right to an attorney, and you will not bear the burden to prove the charges against you. The state will bear that burden, and they will have to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. If they do get a conviction, you can face a sentence of up to 1 year in prison or a fine of $1,000 for the charge. Based upon this information, how do you plead to the charge of criminal trespass?
Not guilty.
I accept your not guilty plea. Your case will be reset as I so stated. All right, whose case is this? Is this your case, Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Mitchell, what is the state's recommendation for his fine?
Your Honor, his bond is currently set at $1,000 surety. In this case, officers responded to the location and met with victim Ashley Owens. Defendant is the ex-boyfriend to Ms. Owens, and they've known each other for 3 years and lived together for 1 year. Ms. Owens stated that the defendant took a brick and busted her patio window. Ms. Owens says she saw defendant run away from the scene, enter his vehicle, and drive off. 1 week prior to this incident, on July 29th of 2021, defendant spray painted Ms. Owens' doorbell, Ring camera, windows, lights, and the body of her car that was parked out front of her residence. Ms. Owens' daughter was a witness to defendant spray painting Ms. Owens' vehicle. Your Honor, we're going to request that the bond remain the same. Defendant is a multi-state offender. He has a history of criminal trespass and family violence charges. He currently has three cases open: a criminal trespass, family violence, February 2021, theft by shoplifting, 2021 in Bibb County, and a criminal damage to property, second degree, in 2021. So that's going to be the basis of our recommendation, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Challenger?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Judge, Mr. Ussery, he is 26 years old. He actually lives in Macon, Georgia. He is a long-term resident, was born here in Georgia. He does live with his grandfather out there. He was working at Purdue. He was working there in a warehouse for about 4 months. He has now since lost his job because he has been in custody for quite a while on this charge. He does have some college education where he did go to Ashford University in San Diego. And Judge, he is looking to get back home to his family. He has a girlfriend that she is pregnant. I've been made aware by Mr. Ussery is that she is due at the end of this month. And so he is looking to get back home to her. We are asking for a signature bond at this time, Judge. As you heard from the state judge, this is not a violent crime. This is a criminal trespass matter, which we will argue this matter and handle it at the appropriate time for a trial. We are disputing the facts of that case. I understand he does have an open case. He does have a hold. He has a actual different attorney, a public defender that represents him on the Superior Court matter. So he is looking to get that resolved to actually get a bond hearing to be able to get out and fight both of his cases. So because of that, Judge, because that his girlfriend is pregnant, he's looking to get back to her so he can be there for the birth of his child. We are asking that this court would reconsider the bond and provide him a signature bond.
Thank you, Ms. Challenger. All right, at this time, I am not going to modify his bond. It will remain at the $1,000 surety bond with the conditions that are currently set. Is there anything further from either party?
Judge, just want to make sure too that I did just make the court aware that that will be not guilty jury trial. I don't think I said that for the jury trial.
Yes, we arranged his case. He'll be reset for the notice of division, Judge.
All right, thank you. That does conclude my matter. May I be excused?
Of course. Have a great afternoon, Ms. Challenger.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Best of luck to you, Ms. Ussery. Who do we have next?
Position number 23, Mr. Watson, Stephen Watson.
Okay, and I understand that this is a negotiated plea. Is that correct, Mr. Finley?
Yes, that is correct, Judge.
Okay, so basically what's gonna happen, 23, Mr. Watson, because your attorneys agree, I'm gonna hear from each party regarding this, and I'm gonna ask you some questions to see if I feel comfortable to take your plea today, okay?
Okay.
All right. Before I begin, let me advise you of your rights. Mr. Watson, your case is 21 CR 007960E, in which you're charged with 1 count of loitering and prowling with an offense date of December the 26th of 2021. You have a constitutional right to an attorney, and you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. I'm conducting this proceeding by video. Do you object to a video hearing today?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I appreciate that. You object to your attorney assisting you remotely?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Mitchell, what is the state's recommendation?
Your Honor, the state's plea recommendation is 12 months to serve, 30 days confinement, credit for time served 16 days, balance suspended, a stay away from 1950 Rambling, RAMBLING, Drive, Atlanta, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons.
Okay. And so he served, so basically this time served, he'll be released.
Yes,
Will you
Your
have
Honor.
any additional time to serve at the jail?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Finley, was that your understanding of the plea?
Yes, that is, Your Honor, and we do agree to the state's recommendation. And additionally, we also stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID, Your Honor.
All right. All right. Before I begin, I'm going to ask you some questions. Mr. Watson, Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone force or coerce you into taking a plea today?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand that by taking this plea, you're waiving your right to challenge the evidence later in a court of law?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're waiving the right to have the state prove the charges against you?
Yes, ma'am.
And you do understand you will not have a later court date regarding this?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're prepared to waive all your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand the requirements of the sentence, that you still have to stay away from that 1950 Rambling Drive?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you will not have any additional time to serve at the jail. As to the charge of loitering and prowling, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. You'll be sentenced to serve 12 months to serve. You'll get credit for the 16 days, 30 days of confinement. The balance will be suspended. As I stated, you have to stay away from 1950 Rambling Drive, and you are to have no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. You do understand that, correct?
Ma'am.
All right, I believe that will conclude your case unless there's anything further from either the state or defense.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Watson.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon. All right, who do we have next?
19, Mr. Sims.
Okay. All right, good morning, Mr. Sims.
Morning.
Your case is 21 CR 002380G, in which you're charged with 1 count of battery family violence and 1 count of simple battery family violence, each with offense dates of May the 14th of 2021. You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of the case can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney today. And who represents Mr. Sims? Is Mr. Sims' counsel on the line? It says private attorney. We may have to go to another position temporarily. I do not see Mr. Ms. Middlebrooks. Who is Mr. Sims' attorney? Do you know? Have they entered appearance? Okay, we don't see Mr. Sims' attorney at this time. Okay, can we go to another position temporarily and see if we can get Mr. Sims' attorney on the line?
I thought he got a court in Marshfield. I think he's our last position, I believe.
He's the last position on the calendar?
I think so.
Okay, that presents a challenge.
Can I speak, Your Honor?
No, I don't want you to speak right now, Mr. Sims. I don't want you to say anything. What is Mr. Sims currently has a bond?
I'm not on bond.
No, Mr. Sims, don't speak. Ms. Middlebrooks, can you tell me if he currently has a bond? And what is that at? Okay, he's being held on something else. He made bond on these.
Charges. No, they just put them on because he.
Okay, we may have to reset him to SAP on Thursday.
Well, I think he was reset to this calendar.
Okay, Mr. Sims, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rearrange your case today, which it means I'm gonna make you aware of the charges against you. And then I'm
in the mail saying I'm supposed to go to court in March for this.
I understand. I don't want you to say anything to me that may affect your case. All right. There are some charges pending against you. I'm going to arraign you now, which makes it good news. I'm going to make you aware of the charges against you. Okay. Ms. Middlebrooks, will you print? I don't think I can get an Odyssey. Can you print the accusations for me? Give me one moment. I'm getting the formal accusations against you. I'm going to arraign your case. And then I am going to actually reset you to the next SAP calendar next week to make sure that you have a chance to have an attorney assist you, okay? Give us one moment. I'm gonna arraign your case.
Hey, excuse me, can you have somebody call Attorney Currency Matthews? Currency R. Matthews.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Sims, I'm gonna read you this, and what I want you to do is, once I ask you how do you plead, I want you to plead not guilty to these charges, just so that I am making you aware and your case can be reset, okay? You understand that much? I don't want you to say much to me, because the state is actually on the line and present, and anything you say can be used against you. Do you understand that?
That's
All right. Are you Michael S. Sims?
I am.
Okay, Mr. Sims, in case 21 CR 002380G, you've been formally charged with 1 count of battery family violence and 1 count of simple battery family violence, each with offense dates of May the 14th of 2021. At this time, I'm going to read you the formal accusations against you, okay? In the case of State of Georgia versus Michael Simeon Sims, case 21 CR 002380G, I, Keith E. Gamage, Solicitor General of the County of Fulton, State of Georgia, in the name and on behalf of the citizens of Georgia, do hereby charge and accuse Michael Simeon Sims with the offense of simple battery family violence, a misdemeanor, for that said accused in the County of Fulton, State of Georgia, on or about May 14th of 2021, did intentionally make physical contact of an insulting or provoking nature with the person of Antisha Sutton, who is the other person living in the same household of accused in violation of OCGA section 16-5-23F, contrary to the laws of this state, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof, signed Keith E. Gamage. I'm now going to read the other accusation against you. In the case of State of Georgia versus Michael Simeon Sims Sr., case number 21 CR 002380G, it reads, I, Keith E. Gamage, Solicitor General of the County of Fulton, State of Georgia, in the name and on behalf of the citizens of Georgia, do hereby charge and accuse Michael Simeon Sims Sr. with the offense of battery family violence, a misdemeanor, for that said accused in the County of Fulton, State of Georgia, on or about May 14th of 2021, did intentionally cause visible bodily harm to Antisha Sutton, who is the other person living in the same household of accused in violation of OCGA 16-5-23.1F1, contrary to the laws of this state, the good order and peace and dignity thereof, signed Keith E. Gamage. At this time, your case will be reset for trial, and the trial will be scheduled by the state court judge to whom the case is assigned. At this trial, you will have the right to an attorney. You do not have the burden to prove the charges against you at trial. The state, represented by the Solicitor General, will bear that burden. And in order to get a conviction against you, they will have to prove those charges beyond a reasonable doubt. If they do get a conviction, you can face a sentence of up to 1 year in prison for each charge, or a fine of $1,000 for each charge. That can run concurrently or consecutively. Based upon this information, how do you plead to the charges I just read to you, Mr. Sims?
Not guilty.
I accept your not guilty plea. At this time, your case will be reset to the SAP calendar.
Go to trial Thursday.
No, I'm good. No, we're not going to trial, Mr. Sims. What's going to happen is I'm going to reset your case to the calendar on Thursday, so we'll give you time for your attorney to appear. Okay.
I'm calling time I get out the camera.
All right. All right. You are free to go at this time, Mr. Sims. All right. Best of luck to you. Does that conclude this calendar? All right. Can we reconcile the calendar before we start the DB? Yes. All right.
Position number 1
was a waiver of arraignment, reset for jail jury. Position number 2, reset SAP February 8th, 2022. Position number 3 was arraigned, reset jail jury. There was a bond modification for $2,000 good bond. Position number 4 was reset SAP January 25th, 2022. Position number 5 has been reset SAP January 18th, 2022. Position number 6 was a waiver of arraignment, waiver of his presence in court and arraignment. There is a $1,500 good bond. Conditions: no weapons, drugs, alcohol, and a stay away. Position number 7, reset SAP February 1st, 2022. Position number 8 was arraigned, reset jail jury with a $2,000 good bond. Position number 9, reset SAP January 18th, 2022. Position number 10 was arraigned, reset jail jury with a $1,250 sign-on bond through pretrial. Stay away from MARTA, all locations, no weapons, drugs, alcohol. Position number 11, reset SAP February 3rd, 2022. Position 12, reset SAP January 18th, 2022. Position 13, reset SAP January 13th, 2022. Positions 14 and 15, reset SAP January 18th, 2022. Position number 16 will be reset to January 13th SAP for a Spanish interpreter to be present. Position 17, reset SAP February the 1st, 2022. Position 18, reset SAP January 25th, 2022. Position 19 was arraigned. It'll be reset SAP January 13th, 2022. Position 20, reset SAP January 25th, 2022. Position 22 was arraigned, reset jail jury. Position 22, arraigned, reset jail jury. Position 23 was a plea. Position 24 is reset SAP January 25th, 2022. Any comments, changes, corrections, or questions from anyone? Okay, hearing none, I believe that will conclude the state all-purpose calendar. Are any members present who for the DV reset calendar at this time? If not, we will be in recess until 11 o'clock. All right, hearing none, everyone have a great rest of your day. See some of you at 11.